Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Bug Control with Up the Beanstalk and Uro. We've got twin engines in this vehicle that we're going to be propelling ourselves to hopeful victory with. We have tons of green cards so we can support endurance. This is really strong against graveyard strategies. We do have the Merc and the Bargain and the Cuts and the Lorien Reveals and the Forces, tons of stuff to support going up the Beanstalk and getting some free cards. We've got tons of good black removal, including Shieldred's Edict, which is very good against both Kaito and flipped Tamiyo. Speaking of flipped Tamiyo, we have two Witherbloom commands. Not only can these remove Tamiyo or remove a Chalice of the Void or remove an opposing Carpet of Flowers, but it can also mill us to fill up our graveyard, potentially flipping an Uro, potentially providing fodder for Uro or Murktide, and potentially regrowing a Wasteland. We are a 4 Wasteland deck, even though we're not playing any tempo spells. We do have a couple Spell Pierces in the deck. Our real goal is just to rein in the land-based strategies that we keep running into in these leagues, such as 12 post, such as lands proper, and then a lot of the Karnforge type decks. If you can waste them every turn, you can win. So I like the idea of being able to waste them every single turn. We're going to be able to get our islands. Almost every land in our deck is an island type. We do have a Bayou, but we're going to be able to get those with Lorien Revealed, which is nice because it also pitches the Force and it also triggers Beans, and it's just a end game in itself. You go get a Mystic Sanctuary, you put this on top, you draw 3 cards. You're usually going to win that game unless you're really far behind. I love the preponderance of removal we have here. We've got a total of 7 removal spells, 9 if you include Witherbloom command, and just lots of game-ending threats in the Murktide, the Uro, and the Endurance. So the sideboard also has some more threats. We can bring these in if we're opposing a deck that doesn't have a lot of creatures. We can just take out some of our creature removal, bring in 4 Orcish Bowmasters. Often does the trick. We've got double Force of Vigor. This is really good against Urza Saga decks. We've got a couple Carpets for tempo. Pernicious Deed, also very strong against any sort of deck that's putting a lot of permanence into play. This can come in and hopefully help us beat Death and Taxes style decks. We've got 3 Force Negation for fast combo, 3 Hydroblast for the Moonstompy type decks. And again, I want to emphasize, if we go up against Moonstompy, we have 4 ways to get our basic island, even under a Blood Moon. We can naturally draw it, or we can go get it with Loriens. So I think this deck is going to be very versatile. Really, this deck should be able to go over the top of pretty much any deck. It's just a question of, can it survive the early turns? And I'm hopeful that with Spell Pierce, with the creature removal, that we can survive the early turns, that we can gain some life off Uro. Uro can turn a corner like none other. Even if we're low in life, Uro can help us creep back in to a safe level of life. I think that this deck can do pretty much everything. Again, it's just a question of whether we can survive the early turns, and I'm hoping Endurance, Forces, Force of Negation, Spell Pierce, that those help us do so. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely Delver opponent. I'm going to keep this hand. I said keep before I actually looked at the hand, but this hand looks fine. It's got lots of mana sources. It's got an Uro that we can aspire to play. It doesn't have any removal. My hope is that we can just turn the corner and get like enough lands in play that we can survive. I'm going to lead on this Delta. Yeah, I don't like to mull against Uro or against Delver if I have lands. We're not sure that they're on Delver. That they play those Delver style decks though. This can get basic island if we need to. If they thought sees me, I am going to use Lorien Revealed. Okay, I'm going to use Lorien Revealed. Do I want to go ahead and get a Trop? I kind of want to get a Trop because then I can, well, I've already got this Trop, but then I can just go get an Underground Sea. Yeah, I'm going to play on non-basics because my hand is so non-basic heavy. I don't really care what they take. They may take the Endurance. That's probably the most likely thing that they take here. I'll get the Underground Sea. So we have our lands kind of set up for the next few turns. We're just going to hope that they don't disrupt us too badly. If they miss a land drop, I will consider wasting them. They're probably on blue-black tempo because historically they've always played tempo or aggro style decks. Okay, they took the Bargain. That's fine. Edict is great. We can now interact. We'll play out the redundant Trop. This way they can't waste us off black. I'm not going to cast Edict into potential Daze. I'm going to be very careful about playing around Daze this time. All right, they're pondering. They can probably trust that we're not playing Daze, although some Bug Beans type decks do play Daze, but I'm not playing any. I contemplated playing one, but I think Spell Pierce just a little bit more flexible in control mirrors and against decks like Omnitel. So you can go tempo, which is Tamiyos, Dazes, lots of Murktides, or you can go control, which is cards like Uro, Endurance, where you're just hoping to get to 3 mana and start casting your spells. And I've opted to go for this. So what I'll do this next turn, assuming they don't waste us, is I will go ahead and Uro. All right, we're not going to get wasted. That's great. Netherglyph's fine. I'm going to just go ahead and Uro here. And worst case scenario, maybe I should have played that because I could have pondered, but I'm just going to go this. See what happens here. We don't have the risk of a Bowmaster, which is always kind of annoying when you're Uroing. They could have Nile Spellbomb in their deck. I want to keep this out for now because it serves as Daze protection. I definitely punted in not playing out the Wasteland first because I would have much rather cast Uro off that. There's a Barrowgoyf. Unfortunately, we can't interact with that. So we are just taking 1 here. Had I wasted them, we would take 2, and it is not going to be consequential. This Wasteland will never be fired off. Okay, so I think what we do here is we start with a Ponder, and I'm just looking for a Fatal Push. And then what I can do is, there's the Fatal Push. So what I can do is I said I'm never going to fire off that waste, but I am going to fire off the waste to turn on my, yeah. And it's kind of unfortunate that we have to draw these because these are not like good. They're redundant, but we do need to get rid of Barrowgoyf now. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and waste them first. Now I'm going to push this. We still have Shieldred's Edict, but unfortunately Shieldred's Edict is not good. I have a Spell Pierce. If they force here, I'll probably actually have to force just in case they Daze. That sucks, but I think that is correct. Okay, that worked. We've got Spell Pierce up. If it's just like some casual, like small spell, like a Ponder or something, I might pierce that just for momentum. I am worried about Wasteland here. I think I could pierce this and force interaction. I don't want to force anything out of their deck. Like force is a really bad card. If I could just buy time here. I'm going to draw another Wasteland. I could potentially waste them off black completely. They don't Daze? Okay, good. So we are taking a 4 here, but it's not that big of a deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Endurance, wipe their graveyard, and then I'll waste their land. So they could Daze this back to their hand to protect it. They don't. I'm going to go ahead and waste them with the Endurance to trigger on the stack, so that gets shuffled back in. So Netherglyph is an 0-1. That's pretty powerful. That was a pretty good turn. That's fine. I don't care. They do have a 1-2 now. We're drawing a dead card, if I recall. It's like another Endurance. Actually, another Endurance is not necessarily bad. We can cast it. I can even try to cast it. Like, they don't have Daze up. I think I'm just going to go for it now because they don't have Daze up. I said it was a dead card, but like we've just been very lucky and they haven't wasted us. So now we have the biggest creature. They're not going to be able to attack us. They have no mana. So we're just kind of getting super lucky here, frankly. I can clear this, but is it worth it? Okay, there. I'm just going to bring back Uro. And if they want to burn a force countering Uro, that's fine with me. I'll get another... I'll get the Bayou. Is this in my deck? Might as well. Green, green, blue, blue. What say you? 1, 2, 3. I always get the fetches out first. 4. I guess I'll get rid of one of the Wastelands. I can recur the other Wasteland if I need to. We're like super duper far ahead. Even if they force it, I can just bring it back next turn. That's fine. I guess I can just come in and start dealing damage. I'm not like super keen to hang back here. They're not going to be able to Kaito me. Best draw would probably be another Wasteland, or a Witherbloom command would be fine. I would take that. A blue card for force is not bad either. Murder's Cut. Not the best card here. I'm going to go ahead and try to bring back Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. I'll just exile everything. This does turn off Lorien Revealed, or turns off, but I think if it works, it's totally worth it. They can't Daze, they have to force. They don't have the force. Okay, we are drawing some bricks. Let's go ahead and come in for a hug. They could definitely push this out of the way. Again, we've been super lucky that they haven't had Wasteland. There's a Delta. They could borrow this out of play. They could do a lot of stuff. Dropping to 10 here. Yep, there's the borrow. That's fine. I can just cast it. draw a card, gain some life. Take the 2. They are treading water here. Blue card for force. I love it. I kind of want to brainstorm first. Yeah, I need to get rid of these cuts. Let's do this. If they daze this, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, now we have a land. I'm gonna put these back. We're just not gonna have the resources for them. Now we have a blue card for force. We've got bargain going. I'm just gonna go ahead and fetch. I could put the brainstorm on top so I draw it. I think it does delay the arrival of the other one. I could get the hedge maze and just fill up my graveyard a little. I think it's fine to sanctuary here. Just put brainstorm on top. It's a good card. Now we can go green, blue. I'll just do it like that. I'll keep blue black up. Just in case I draw a land here because we are drawing wild, then I could have Shielders Edict up. Oh, we're not going to draw land. We're going to draw a brainstorm here. That's fine. I'm just going to come in for a hug here. All right, and I'm trying to manage my clock, but I'm also trying to not like lose the game through some dumb sequence. So we can force another Beargoyf. They can play this out. I don't care too much about that. If this is Kaito, that'll be annoying. It looks like it is Kaito, but actually I've got the Shielders Edict, so it's not that big of a deal. And I can force the Shielders Edict through. Okay, so they're going to come in. They're probably going to stun this, but that means they're not going to be drawing a card. If they don't, yeah, I figured they would. Okay. Another land. I do want to make sure this works. They sack their Planeswalker. I could go ahead and just Uro again. Do I want to just bargain? I could pass and bargain. Bargain's pretty damn good because it fills up the yard for Uro next turn. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just pass with all this stuff up. I'm probably just going to pitch this redundant Uro because like all these other cards, Thutsies, I'll just bargain. And I'm not going to cast Brainstorm here. They don't have a lot of life, so I'm not sure what they may just be getting information before they concede. Okay, Witherbloom is great. Beanstalk is great. Murktide is great. I could just put the land in the graveyard. I'll just take the Witherbloom because that like practically kills them. And I'll take the Beanstalk and I'll put the others in the yard. And this is just like what happens. Like you just get such an overwhelming advantage if they let you out of the early game. We got a smorgasbord of interactivity here. So Bowmasters does come in the mirror. We could just take the Beanstalks out completely. I don't know that that's correct, but it's tempting. I am going to bring in these. If we take the Beanstalks out, we could take some of the force. Oh, I'm going to take the Spell Piercers out. They're not for this matchup. I'm not going to take any of the creature interaction. I'm not going to take out the Witherblooms. Endurance is good here. Yeah, if we take out the Beanstalks, it's a luxury we have. We're bringing in another 2-drop, so we're swapping 1 2-drop for another. Rockshaw's Bark is not the worst because it pitches, but Beanstalk doesn't pitch to anything. I mean, it pitches to Endurance, but we're not going to be pitch casting Endurance. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. They're not going to expect me to juke so hard out of Beanstalk. They did see the beans. They should probably presume that we're playing beans. This hand is very good if Carpet resolves, and we're dead if it doesn't resolve. And I think we're on the draw. I don't want to keep this. I think it's too risky. This is fine. I'm going to put back Cut because getting Uro out is a higher priority, and we took the Beanstalks out of the deck. Again, you're probably like, what? You took the Beanstalks out? Like beans without Beanstalk? We do have plenty of card draw, and that's not really our issue. In my humble opinion, our issue is just survival, and Uro helps you survive much better than Beanstalk. Okay, that's a blue card we can pitch to force. So I'm just going to play this out, and I'll pass. And I'll probably instep Crack to Surveil. If they start playing Wastelands, I can stair step through Island first. Island Ponder. This bargain is most definitely staple to the force. This is not a card you want to cast early game against a Daze Wasteland opponent. The scariest thing they could do is get an early Kaito probably. Or a Bowmaster, of course. Bowmaster is very scary. Okay, they're coming in for a hug. They did not shuffle that Ponder. Do they have a land? I'm like seriously tempted to waste them if they don't have a land. They do have a land. Okay, they're just like most people play their land before. Okay, there's a Tommy. She's not a big concern for this deck. We have so many ways of removing her. I think I am going to go and surveil here. Just to get it out of my deck. I don't want to draw it. They have wastelands. We'll have to wade through those. It's a very good rip. I think. So we have two options. This does come back, but pushing Tommy does make her bigger, but it also denies them card. I think I am going to just go ahead and fetch and push now. And I'll do it during my turn. So they don't, because I'm going to do this. I want to do this before they get a clue crack anyway. And I'll just keep mana up in case I have to force something. If they wasteland, then I probably will, not force something. I will force a Bowmaster if it comes down when I'm like on one land. If they, let's say they waste me and then they have a Bowmasters. Well, I'm going to force that Bowmasters so that I can ponder into more land. I do have, I believe we're playing 19 lands and 3 Lorien Revealed. So 22 total mana sources. And Lorien Revealed is not a mana source. I like to count it as half a mana source, but it is more than nothing. This has more lands than a lot of control decks do. Okay, there's the Wasteland. Baragoyf. I'm going to force it. Don't really want to deal with it. They did tap that, which is nice because now I can Uro. Witherbloom Command is great. But I think we Uro first. I just want to get this in the yard, dig deeper into my deck, gain some life. Carpet, phenomenal if they don't waste us next turn. If they do, I'm going to have to be digging for... if they waste us or if they Thoughtseize is bad. There's another Goyf. Man, if we get this Carpet, it's so huge if they waste the wrong color. They may waste our removal color because, that makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you waste the removal color when you have 2 creatures putting pressure on? But at the same time, our Uro is only going to come back with green, so it may make sense to just waste the green. We'll see what they do. They could be finding Kaito here. Double Wasteland. Beating. We are so screwed. We're going to lose this game. I did not expect double Wasteland here. We basically have one shot. We find a green source. Oh, so lucky. All right. I'm going to just do the green source. We're going to get 2 mana. We can ponder with that. That's really all we can do. Yeah, I'm going to do this. We've got like 2 turns, basically. They have a force the game's over. That was an incredible draw, finding that land. Are they going to double daze it, or are they just trying to deny its mana? Okay, I don't agree with that play. I don't think you should do that. But they did deny us mana here. So now I'm going to ponder. Maybe that play does make sense. So this is an island, but island's not really what we're in the market for. They can actually just not play out lands, and we don't get anything. Witherbloom, I think what we're looking for now is we're looking for removal, sadly. Because we have to address these. Well, let's see. If they do make the mistake of playing out a land, then we do have enough mana to bring back Uro. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this, and I'm just going to hope that they make that mistake. If we find an endurance, then we are playing all 4 endurances. Yeah, I'm gonna try to high roll. I don't think counting on my opponent to make a mistake is a winning strategy. Oh yes, we got exactly the card I needed. Just what I needed. And they did play at the land anyway. Okay, don't Thoughtseize me, bro. Yeah, that sucks, but it's actually we can still endurance next turn, assuming they don't have a Daze. Okay, so we're not necessarily out of the woods. I do think we want a Lorien Revealed. So I'm going to attempt to cast this. This shouldn't get countered. I can go get a land. I'm going to go get a Underground Sea here. It's our last black source on our deck. It's terrifying. Play it out. We go to our second main phase. I am going to use the Carpet now. I'll double green. This is crazy. Do you have another Daze? Oh. All right. We got super lucky. They have a bunch of 0/1s. They need Kaito now. Any land they play feeds our mana and increases the arrival of Uro. That was exactly the sequence we needed. We got so lucky there. The land we did, it was basically an ETB tap land is kind of how you can view Lorien Revealed. If we get Uro back, we'll have fully turned the corner. My opponent's probably sitting over there like, what the hell? How did they get so damn lucky? All right, they play the third land. If they have Kaito, it's a bummer. That's out. Yeah. All right, and they're just passing. We're going to bring back Kaito. I'm not attacking. I'm not wasting them. I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm going to use my Bountiful Mana here. So let's get some green up in the house. Okay, so I could go black, hit that, get back a land, then Uro. That seems good. Yeah, I'll mill myself. I will kill this. I'm going to get back the Underground Sea because it's my last Black Source. Wait, did I already play a land for turn? I did not. Okay, good. Now I go blue, blue. And let's bring back the big guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keeping all the sorceries in the yard for Merc. If we draw him, draw a card. Fatal Push. That's good for later. I'm just going to chill. I'm not going to attack. I'm going to be a complete coward here. We're going to win this game if nothing goes catastrophically wrong. More mana for the Carpet. The Carpet's so good. I don't know what their last card is. It's Tommy. Okay, that's not enough. All right. So we have a lot of options here. I'm going to go ahead and add them. I'm not going to use the mana. I'm going to attack with Uro. I want the life. I can go ahead and play this out as our land for Uro. Now I can search. They're probably just going to take this. So I'm going to play like this is the last game. I'm not going to stress on time, but this is a very clock intensive deck. I'm going to put Lorien Revealed on top, I think. No, wait, I've got a Lorien Revealed in hand. I can just cast this and draw a bunch of cards. They don't have any cards in hand. Yeah, I'll just do that. I mean, like basically tap 1 land, draw 3 cards. Pretty good, considering this is also a mana source. Let's go ahead and, yes, I'll just add a bunch of blue. This color, I'm not going to be wasting you. Your mana is my mana. Let's go ahead and draw. Double Bowmaster. We could just take one of these out. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just disgusting what we're doing to them. Yeah, they scoop. That was disgusting. And we got so freaking lucky. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against an unknown opponent with a Force of Will hand. And we have Lorien Revealed. We can just open Island, go get a land of whatever color we want. This is pretty good. We have Wasteland. We can basically deal with everything. We don't have creature removal, but we can, I mean, we kind of have creature removal. We don't have the colors to use that. Let's see what they do here. Tundra. All right. They might have Stifle. One of the decks that frequent play is, this is Stiflenought. What do we want to get? I think I just get a Trop is the default because it's, we have tons of green in our deck. We only have like a few black spells in our deck. Okay. I think I'm not going to waste them. I'm just going to be patient. Play this out. I've got triple Ponder. I'm going to go ahead and Ponder with this color because I want to make sure this is up in case we need to force something. These are great cards. Most definitely. I don't need the Endurance. Maybe I'll need it. But generally, Tundra strategies, Endurance isn't as important. I'll take the blue card for Force and we'll draw the beans. Next turn we can bean. And if they waste this, we can just, go get another one next turn. Brainstorm end step. Okay. Is this a combo deck? They play a Stranded Pass. All right. I think I'm just going to do a Daze Protected up the Beanstalk here. Oh, I screwed up. I should have tapped the island because they could, in theory, waste this. It's a very minor thing. I don't think it's a big deal. So I do force to protect this generally just because this represents, but if they spell pierce, they wouldn't spell pierce if they were forcing here. I don't think. But let's say hypothetically, they really wanted to get something in through Daze. They could, they are going to double force. Okay. I think we just take this 2 for 1 and we let that happen. The cards they pitched were double Brainstorm. So they've got a very cantrip heavy hand. I'm not going to waste. If they start missing land drops, then I will waste. I'll be very disciplined about this. I'm going to end step Lorien Revealed. Just get Underground Sea. And then we have Witherbloom up. Hopefully we can do that. Use that for something. They kept the top card of their library with the Archive. Ancient Tomb. Okay, interesting. The top card was Endurance. I don't think it's important. I'm not going to get it. Yeah, let's get the Underground Sea here. Uro! I love it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and Uro. Green. I'll tap like this just for the same reason I said earlier. Just keeping this basic up in case they have like some situation where they're going to Daze later. In case we draw like a Force, it could be relevant if they waste and then we all right, that's pretty damn good. This can get a surveil. I'm just going to... Do I want to ponder? No, there's not really any reason to. I'm just going to hope they don't kill us this turn. If they're like on Omnitel, we could die here. Okay, dress down. So they're on a... yeah, this is fine. It sucks. Like if they have Null Drifter, that's definitely bad for us. I guess I could have pondered and found Pierce. Yeah, that's probably sloppy of me to not ponder there. Because when am I going to use that mana? Yeah, they have the Null Drifter. That sucks. So they get the 2 cards, and then it comes into play, and now we have to deal with this body. We do have ways of dealing with it, but it's rough. Uro can kind of race it. Oh, don't have a freaking... Oh, they have it. They've got 2 things we need to kill now. All right, well, we're going to be digging. There's... Yep, that's going to be part of the answer. So we can get rid of this. I don't want to get annihilated, but I don't think it's the end of the world if we do. This needs to happen more than the Uro. Oh, wait a second. We can't bring Uro back. So they would be hitting for 16. Uro wouldn't really absorb anything. We'd go up to 24. We could ponder for Black Source, but we're still going to be in the same situation. Uro needs to hit a land. Unfortunately, Witherbloom Command does give us a land, but it takes up our Uro mana. The real question is, okay, do we want to Uro this turn? We might need to wait a turn. I'm going to go ahead and ponder. And I'm keeping all my colored mana up. Okay, Shielder's Edict is perfect. So now, I don't care about this endurance at all. I should have... Okay. So now the problem is I only have 1 Black Source. Get back a Black Source. Witherbloom. This gets back a Black Source. So next turn we have more Black Sources. I did mill the Wasteland that I didn't want. That's good. But I also milled the Mystic Sanctuary that I did want. Okay, so now we've got... we should get green here. Yeah, we got plenty of blue. I'm going to get Bayou. Now I'm just going to go ahead and push this now. We are going to get annihilated. We're going to lose our Wasteland. If they have a force, it's catastrophic. They're pausing like they have a force. I can pay for Spell Pierce. Brainstorm. Okay. I'm trying to think of how we sideboard here. I don't think we bring in the Bowmasters in this matchup. Pernicious Deed. Probably not. Okay. We got rid of the most pressing concern. Next turn we can Shielder's Edict. But they do have 3 cards in their grip. Stock up. So they've got 4 cards in their grip. We absolutely have to get rid of this Null Drifter ASAP. Urza Saga. I could just waste now and sack my island. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I don't want this to happen. Okay, so they don't get the mana for that. Yeah, I don't want them to be able to Urza Saga. Constructs would be a pain. But now that I saw that, yeah, I'm going to sack that. So we still have the mana, but there's a very real chance that they have Daze. So what I'm going to hope to do is just edit this out of the way, and then we could brainstorm first. I'm going to go ahead and edit and see if that works first. Then I'll have more information. I hope they do not have that one guy. Doorkeeper Troll, that would really screw this up. They force. I'm going to brainstorm. Oh, I can't find a freaking Spell Pierce, unfortunately. What could I find? I guess I'm going to brainstorm anyway. I'm just going to, if I wait a turn, things get worse for me. I won't be able. Yeah, I'm going to brainstorm and I'm just going to try to find something. I'm not going to wait around. I don't know what I could find. Cut. Oh, actually I could cut. Yeah, I think we do cut here because they forced. Maybe they have a Daze too. I'm going to put the Beanstalk below the Trop because at least with the Trop, I can play a land and attempt to bring back Uro next turn. Yeah, I totally forgot I had this card in my deck. So let's cut 1, 2. That worked. Okay, we're still in this game. Crazy, but true. And I don't regret getting rid of the... I mean, obviously, now that I know that they weren't going to be able to do anything, they were just sitting there, I don't regret getting rid of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this out first, and then we're going to go green, green, blue, blue. We already know what's on top. Uro. Let's get rid of a bunch of non-creature stuff. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Uro's in. That's big. They'll probably just plow him. Okay, next turn we have Beanstalk into other stuff. So we're starting to turn the corner. Again, Uro is a house. Uro is awesome. Uro turns the corner like none other. Do they have a surveil here? What are they going to do? Fetching the Thin. That's something you can do. Torpor. They don't have a card. Oh, this is so good for us. You know what? It stops creatures. It does stop endurance, but I'm going to go ahead and do this first. That's pretty good. I'll go ahead and come in for a hug first. Wow, we're just getting all the Beanstalk. Oops, all Beanstalks. I think we just... Oh, they're at 2? I didn't even notice they were so low on life. Why didn't anybody tell me they were at 2? They can't even use their lands. Spell Pierce, great draw. Holy cow, that's such a good draw. I dare you to stock up. Well, I think I want to go ahead and just do this. Just be the baddie. Do you have a plow? What are you doing here? Aurora, I can't answer that. Okay. This comes in. I'm just going to be a total meanie. Blue, blue. Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big boy. I didn't have to make them this big. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. They have 1 card. Another Merc. That's pretty good. All right. Your move. I've got Spell Pierce. I've got Fiddle Push. I won't allow it. Do you have Plow as your last card? That felt great. And they took themselves out there with the Ancient Tomb. Wow, I can't believe we survived that. That was great. Oh, this deck feels awesome. So Carpet, I think, does come in. They are playing enough blue cards. We didn't see... Did we see Wasteland? I'm not going to take out any of the creature removal. I think Spell Pierce is actually not that good. They saw it. They're going to potentially play around it. The reason I don't think it's that good is we're really scared of their creatures. Technically, their creatures are enabled by, I can cut these endurances. I will leave 1 endurance in to win if they somehow nuke our graveyard. No, I'm going to take all the endurances out and I'm going to bring in some Bowmasters. I don't think the Bowmasters are going to be great, but they're probably better than endurance because they just don't use their graveyard. They may have Murktide in there, but that's it. Any other changes? I think Deed comes in for sure. So maybe we just play 2 of these. Force of Vigor. I don't think it... I mean, it hits the... I think we could bring it in a Force of Vigor. It's probably more impactful than yet another... But they're doing so much damage to themselves. I just want to freaking heap it on. They draw cards off lots of things. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do it like this. I think Deed will be really strong. Note that I didn't board out any mana sources. My presumption is that they do have Wasteland. I could be wrong because they are a really big deck with Ancient Tombs and Urza Sagas and stuff. Urza Saga is scary because if they have the Phyrexian, or what is it called? The orb, Torpor Orb out, they can just tutor for a Dreadnought and just get it for free and it comes right in and it doesn't die. And then suddenly they got a 12/12 alongside all their constructs. You're not generally going to win. If you want to watch the best league I've ever recorded, I did it with Lifting Weights. And his name's Lifting Weights on MTGO. And we recorded Dreadnought with Urza Saga, and it was just crazy. This is not a keep. I just love how much gas this deck it has. I had totally forgotten that I had freaking... I just got lucky and left up black, I guess. I was like, what could I draw here? Oh, yeah, Murderous Cut. Mulligan. This is not an exciting hand, but it's a hand I'm going to keep. I mean, it's got Beanstalk. I can't come. We have very little interaction. Tomb, Torpor Orb. Okay. That is something that we need to be cognizant of. I think we just surveil. Yeah, I'm just going to surveil into filling up my yard for Murderous Cut because I'm pretty sure something bad is coming for us here. Hopefully it's not the Null Drifter. I just don't know that we can ever beat turn 2 Null Drifter with this. Dreadnought. I can beat that. It's not going to be pretty. Can I beat this? I think actually we do need to just brainstorm here and try to find a force. I'll get the Underground Sea here. I'm just going to brainstorm. Do we have a force? Or are they going to turn to us? Okay, we have Shielded Edict and cut. We can only cast 1 Shielded Edict next turn. And then we can cut the subsequent turn. I think that's the best we can do. Merc can absorb some of the damage. I think we put back the Bowmaster because we're going to need these to draw back into the game. We'll redraw this Merc. Okay. We're very much in danger here. So I'm going to just shuffle away that other card. Because I need to have the card in the graveyard for Murderous Cut. So I think I'll just Bayou here. I could just, I'll just get a second Underground Sea. And I'm just going to go for it now. If they have a force, the game's over. Okay, that's in. We could get really greedy. If they don't have a blue out, we could Beanstalk and then cut and draw a card. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, they're not presenting any soft permission. Holy cow. We could actually kill the Torpor Orb, shut the door, and then we could cut. I think I'm going to do that. Because that deals with the potential of them drawing Null Drifter, which they can't evoke. I wouldn't be surprised if Null Drifter was in their hand. I do think it's good to go ahead and just shut the door on this, and we can gain back some life too. Then we can Beanstalk next turn. So I'll mill, and I'll destroy. Yeah, I'm just going to mill myself. And maybe they force this. That would be glorious. All right, I'll get back a land. I cannot believe we're still alive here, but we're not necessarily still alive. Cards I don't really want. Witherbloom can gain us some life. Edict is probably the most important card in our graveyard. We have 2 of them. I'll get rid of this Brainstorm. Just removal. Play it. Play removal, folks. They have no play. This is disgusting, but I'm going to freaking do it. I'm going to Beanstalk into Merc. I'm going to start beating their ass down. Beating them down. Sorry for any kids listening. Yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that. Do we want to get... yeah, it doesn't even matter whether the Merc resolves because we're going to get the cards. So I'm fine with it not resolving. I can rebuild my graveyard. I'll have Lorien revealed this following turn. Draw trigger. Oh my goodness. You just can't make this up. Like this sequence, my opponent goes turn 2 Dreadnoughts, and now we're beating them. That is freaking phenomenal. This is a league, boys and girls. We got a ball game, and it's a big one too. We have Uro now too, so we can start gaining life. They do have the ability to, gosh, if they start tapping these, they're really in danger. I'm not going to protect the queen, am I? I think I am going to protect the queen if they plow here. I'll let them do that. You cast Stock Up, I'm going to draw, 5 cards in 2 turns. I'd rather do that than stop them from... But I will protect this with... Does it make sense? It's a 2-for-1. I gain a life. I think actually I would let them plow this if they plowed it. Because I think the longer the game goes on, the more favorite I become. And there might be some way they can thread the needle. They are about to have 7 mana. Okay. That is potentially strong too. We'll just come in. I think I'm going to go ahead and go up the Beanstalk here. I can Lorien Cycle for land if I absolutely need to here. I don't need to. Hedge Maze. I'm going to bin that. They're at 6 life. They're dead on board. I just need to stop them from stopping me. Unless they have a second White Source, I think Force is... Oh, they do have a second White Source. Null Drifter won't save them. Sure. It's quite possible that they find 2 plows. I'm trying to think of what I would be looking for if I were them. I'd be looking for 2 plows. They can't be on the offense here. I don't think they have anything that can tango with this in the air. I'm going to take the life. For the reasons I mentioned earlier. The longer... I mean, we got double Beanstalk out. We're about to freaking draw 5 cards. We still got Force up. This is not death for them, but it represents a lot of pressure. Just going to come in, knock them to 1. Now they can't force my Lorien revealed. They can Daze it. That does take mana off the table for them getting out of their current predicament. Let's draw 5 cards. This is just devastation. There's no other way to put this. They can't force. They can Spell Pierce. I guess I want to draw these 3 cards. I've got a redundant Uro, sure. I guess I'll just fill up my hand. I'll draw 8 cards this turn. What the hell? My goodness. I can't believe we survived that. Are you not entertained? See you in round 3. All right, we're up against Lawler Stank. Not my favorite opponent, like just because of the decks they play. They seem chill. I don't hold anything against them, but they play Reanimator or they play Uro. I'm sorry, Reanimator or they play Oops All Spells. If they have a disruption card for... Okay. They may be playing Karnforge. I am going to be wasting this. I don't mess around with that. And we'll just chill for a few turns. We don't have anything in our hand that is particularly good against Karnforge. We can kill Karn. We just have to hope that that was an important part of their plan. They pass. This is a good turn for me to ponder into a force, which I'm going to attempt to do here. I'll probably be aggressively shuffling. Let's see. Bean. We already have an Uro. I mean, the sad thing is, like, we could absolutely be dead before Beanstalk pops off. This is so juicy, but then again, like, everything is going to look juicy, you know? I think we keep this and we just hope to outrace them. If they have Karn, again, we have Edict. Put the Uro on the bottom. Take the Brainstorm now, I guess. If they just have the tower, we're so screwed. Yeah, they have the tower. That's 4 mana. Is this Karn? It is. Okay, so I'm going to edit Karn next turn. But they're still going to have 4 mana. And they'll have whatever card they grab. They can grab the Lattice. They can lock us out of playing the game completely. But only as long as Karn is on the table. So if they have a follow-up Karn, then that's bad. Yeah, so I'm just going to shuffle away the redundant Uro here. I'm glad I'm playing Shielder's Edict. I'm playing 2 of them. They've definitely come up this league. Click the wrong one. Planeswalker. All right. You have a Mycosynth Lattice that does nothing until you find another Karn. Okay, they have another one of these. Are they running low on gas? Of course not. They have the One Ring. I'm not playing Bowmasters, but I will be playing it. I'm going to take out my Endurances and put in Bowmasters, so that will help a little bit. But they are so far ahead, it's not even funny. Okay, so I think what we need to do is find a Wasteland. Actually, if I find a Wasteland, I'm going to waste that. But they'll just draw like tons of stuff. Like this game is incredibly over. I hope that doesn't sound too but like they've already assembled everything they need to win. So we could Merc them, but let's see. Yeah, we could Merc. We could Beanstalk. No, we can't Beanstalk and Merc in the same turn cycle. Nor can we Lorien Revealed. The highest roll thing we could do is probably just maybe Uro into a Wasteland. We could Brainstorm and then Wasteland, but then like what have we accomplished? We took them off this. They'll probably draw another one in the next few turns. We could take them off this. It slows them down until they draw another one. They still have all this mana. I guess I'm going to go ahead and start with the Brainstorm. This Endurance is really stinky. I want to put that back. Okay, the Force is not nothing. This land is probably not useful. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to do this. I'll fetch away that stuff. Let's go get another Trop. And then we will go ahead and get our Beanstalk on for what it's worth. Their engine is going to radically outpace mine. They can only create 1 construct per turn, and we do have an answer for one of them. Okay, they're going to draw Ancient Tomb. They are doing a lot of damage to themselves. Unfortunately, I can counter this, but they still get rid of that. So I need to counter this with this on the stack. I am going to force it, though. I'll pitch one of my redundant Uros. So we do get the Beanstalk trigger before the Beans gets exiled. That card is so annoying, by the way. It's like my new least favorite card. Sorry if I'm complaining. I know I've been winning like up to this point, and now I'm getting my butt kicked. But like this card is just, it's not chill for them to be printing cards that have like on-cast triggers. Because these decks, like in Legacy, it's so easy to get to 7 mana. Okay. Let's keep our head in the game. Now we don't get the trigger on Merc. We could play the Merc. It would be big, but they'll probably just replace this ring. They've got 6 cards in their grip. I think I'm going to start with the Ponder. If I Ponder, though, I can Merc and Waste in the same turn. And I think hitting this is still relevant. Yeah, I'm going to Ponder and hope to find a Wasteland. I found nothing of the sort. I have not played a land yet, so there is an argument for doing that. Merc would be a 7/7, which would basically be a 2-turn clock. They do have so much mana that they could potentially exile it with K-Command, which is incredibly frustrating. Option, we could take the Brainstorm first and make it an 8/8. Then upkeep, we can Lorien Reveal to cycle it away. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. Oh, I did find the Wasteland, but I can't waste, and so I could hit this and hope, but I think it is correct to just hold the waste. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you disagree with this play, but I think we want to get on the table with Merc. And I'm just going to dump all the power and toughness I can into it because we have to stand up to these giant constructs. Lowest strength goes to 15. They do get a key here, which means they can do like degenerate things with the One Ring, like tech it up even further. Okay, so if for some reason they can't remove my Merc, There is a world in which I put so many things in the graveyard because I could just like endurance myself and get additional power. Yeah, actually, if they don't kill this, okay, they have so much mana. It's so obscene. 9 cards in hand. There's no way that this is surviving. They'll just K command it away. They get the mana back. Fleshraker can't interact. Are you going to kill me this turn? There's one. They get a mana. I take a ping. Another one. I'll take another ping. At least they didn't have 2 Fleshrakers. You know the old joke about what's worse than a Tyrannosaurus Rex? 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Well, that's like Fleshraker right there. So much mana. They don't have any keys yet. They didn't make any. Okay, the One Ring. Okay, so the replacement One Ring. So that is bad for us. They do get a thing for it too. I'm not sure how we win anymore. Wasting their Planar Nexus may buy us some time. They go ahead and draw a card. 5 cards in the grip. They don't have the mana to kill my Merc. But again, they have the protection bubble, so Merc doesn't really matter. Okay, that's the end of their turn. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I think I have to waste the Planar Nexus and hope they don't have another one. And then I'll just kill the Fleshraker. Okay, they're floating one. That's fine. Let's go ahead and pass through this combat just in case they have something in mind. Okay, they let it burn off. So I am going to kill this now. And then I guess I could Uro. I do have a land on top of my deck. I could Uro, get a land. No, wait, I played a Wasteland for a turn. So I can get a land for sure off the top of my deck and use that to Lorien, or I can just use that to draw a bunch of cards next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw that card. Blue, green, green. Let's go ahead and Uro here. We gain some life, which buttresses a little bit against subsequent Fleshrakers. Do they want to exile this with a K command? So it's worth noting that if they do like a Karn type thing, they still have the card in their hand that like makes it impossible for us to tap any lands. There's the Planar Nexus. So we wasted it, but they got all that mana right back. Now they can Candelabra again. There's the Karn. They can lock us out of casting mana for the rest of the game. If they do that, I am going to cycle Lorien Revealed. Just with the hope of Disruptor Flute. Not sure what they're going to do, but I am going to go ahead and I'll just let them go here. They're going to choose Force because they don't want me to force their thing. I'm not sure how they're going to stop me from attacking for lethal though. This is a big K command. They need 1 more mana. That's the game. If they're going to K command my Merc, I'm pretty sure this is a game, but I'm going to let it play it out. Like they get so much mana that they can use this to cast the Mycosynth Lattice. Yeah, and they're stacking their deck. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to run out of time. Let's just go to the next game. Yeah, it's frustrating. Like the fact that they found another one, but I mean, they did draw a lot of cards off that One Ring. The problem, the reason this deck is so hard to beat is they just keep sticking things that you have to answer. Deed comes in for sure. I think these Vigors come in. I'm going to take out the Endurances. They don't do anything. Force Negation does come in. We're bringing a lot of cards here. This is a serious matchup. I take it very serious. I'm going to take out my Island. Actually, I'm going to take out the Bayou because I don't like to have like such a low. I will take out the Fatal Pushes. I'm tempted to take out the Cuts too. Shield Rosita can kill, both things. This is a good card. Let's check our green count. So we've got 4, 6, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that's fine. Spellpierce is staying in. It's not a great card, but it can catch them unawares, and it is a blue card that pitches to Force. Yeah, I think I'd take out the Cuts. I just don't think it's going to be relevant. Like, it can trigger the Beans and do all that stuff, but yeah. Let's see if we can... If these 10 sideboard cards we're bringing in are good enough. This hand, we just play the Sanctuary. We can surveil for the next land. We have 2 things. We have the Shoulder Edict. We don't have any sideboard cards. I don't like hands that are like, if they just go with the Urza Saga plan, we're pretty screwed. I'm going to mulligan this. We have to mulligan this too. This seems like insane, but I'm not going to keep a no-lander. This has the same problem as the other hand, but it is... I mean, Force of Vigor is a good card. I think this is extremely inadvisable, but I don't want to go lower. This can help us rebuild if we find a green source. Wither Bloom is just too many colored mana sources. Bowmasters can be a clock. We just need a black source. I'm going to put the bargain back. Yeah, we're going to just keep it like this. It sucks, but like now I'm going to wait and see what they do. Like if they play Urza's, if they play, what will I waste? They'll bait me with the land. Yeah, I'm not going to waste that. Petal. Monolith, sure. Okay. Can I draw a land, please? Oh my, so good for me. I'm so glad I didn't waste. We're going to get a... If we get a Underground Sea, we can cast this Bowmasters next turn and we can Vigor something. I think that's more important than getting Beanstalk out. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, they are already tapping their land. Okay. Sure. They're going to name Wasteland, I imagine. I don't want to blow a Vigor on just two things. Should I wait one more turn? If I hit these, it denies them a lot of mana. Then I could just waste this if I draw a land. That'd be insane. Then they're like, they've got land that's doing damage to them. I think I'm going to do it. So I'll hold the Beanstalk just in case I draw an answer. Okay, they are going to K command here. So they were able to efficiently use that mana. We'll see what they get here. They get a lot of these ground creatures that stymie my offensive temporarily. Best draw is definitely a land. Like a green source would be insane. Yeah, if I find a green source, I can trop, or I can Beanstalk. It's worth it. Worth the risk. It's greedy, but I do think we shuffle this. I mean, we could just keep stamping out Bowmasters turn after turn. I'm not sure that's good enough. Yeah, we could play this island, then we could waste the Mishras, and they're dealing damage to themselves. I think I could do that and just totally ride Bowmasters to victory, just hoping that it gets through. I think the situation we're in is dire enough, having mulligan so aggressively, that it makes sense to do that. So I'll encourage them to use their other mana source. So this Beanstalk functionally does nothing for the rest of the game. We're just jamming. And now I think we're probably dead because they'll be able to create constructs here. If this is Karn, oh, it's the One Ring. Yeah, that's pretty bad for us. So now I have to ping myself with the Orcish Bowmaster to get the construct or the thing. I could just wait till their upkeep and do it. If they have the K command, they can just use it here. I'm going to be hitting them. Yep, they have the K command, unfortunately. So we get one trigger. They are creating some more spawns. So we get a blocker, which is not great. Maybe they use some of these spawns and we do get to connect with our troll, with our Orc army next turn. Okay, so next turn they're going to have the key and they'll be able to produce tons of mana. Okay, they already have the key. They can start going crazy with the One Ring now. They're opting to do mana stuff instead. Okay, they're creating a construct. This is fine. But this can become an unblockable construct. So we're drawing another Bowmasters. We're just going to pass. I can't attack into that. I just have to hope that they don't draw One Rings too quickly here. It's also worth noting that what they can do is they can tap the One Ring and then they can tap the One Ring again with the Bowmaster on the stack. Candelabra. So that means they have like a tower probably in hand. Or maybe they just didn't want another key for some reason. There's the tower. Okay. Karning me. Walking Ballista. Untapping. So they can now Walking Ballista my Orcish Bowmaster. They have a giant Walking Ballista now. It's going to be yeah, it's quite large. Good games. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Like I can play these out, but like they've got an overwhelming advantage with the One Ring and everything. Yeah. Okay, well that ends the streak, but we're going to keep at it. Round 3, we're up against a likely Doomsday gamer. They were playing it like 4 days ago, 5-0'd with this list. It's got a heavy kind of tempo emphasis with 3 main deck Orcs, 3 Tommies, Jace Wielder of Mysteries, I believe is Wielder. Yeah, it is Wielder. And then only 16 land, noteworthy. They do have carpets in the side. We should remember that. They've got 3 days, likely Veils, Thought Seizes, lots of disruption. This is a Spell Pierce hand, and it has a Wasteland. I think we can just see if they do anything. Like this kind of answers them sending it a little bit. This answers the Tommy if they open with that. I'm going to keep this. I'm not like stunned with this hand, but we do have Uro on turn 3 if we don't interact too heavily. This probably has to get not a Surveil land, because I do want to have black up in case they drop a creature. Trop, Ponder. Okay. And I'm not going to interact with that. The fact that they didn't drop a creature means I think I'm safe. They don't play Wasteland or anything like that. I think I'm safe to just go with Surveil. Try to dig deeper into my deck, get more cards in the graveyard. This is the tension when you're playing a 3-color deck. But we have lots of lands. There we go. I'm actually going to graveyard that. Yeah, I need to find specifically a black source now. I know that that'll help me return Uro, but like that's several turns from now. It's worth wastelanding them here. It is my land for Uro. Should I choose a Uro? If I put this on the... I'm going to play this out. I'm not going to waste them. If I put this on the table, it could change how they build a pile. Say hypothetically they do resolve a Doomsday. But if they don't know this is in my hand, then, you know, they may be vulnerable to like a 2 Wasteland line. This is also a very good card against Doomsday because you can mess up their pile. So like Wasteland plus Witherbloom, we could potentially waste them twice, which would be great to do after they've... and I'm going to allow this to happen again. I think that you just save your Pierce for the actual Doomsday. Next turn, we do just Uro, and that's probably worth doing just because it gets us deeper into our deck and advances our game plan. Hopefully we have a black source in the top 2, because that way we could Uro and then get a black source out, like a fetch, or really anything other than a Bayou would allow us to hold up Spell Pierce or Wasteland. Okay. They're cracking their... Maybe they're going for it. That would be great. Dark Writ. Doomsday. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Spell Pierce here. Daze protected. They could crack this for another Dark Writ. Getting paid out by the Spell Pierce. There's the force. Okay, Thassa's Oracle under the Exile Zone. Do they play more than one? They're going to have to win through Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. They're going to need a lot of mana to do that. Yep, they pitched their 1 Thassa. So now, I think if we Wasteland them, they may not be able to accumulate enough mana. They could be on a different list that plays 2 Oracles. Yeah, I don't see an Oracle. Oh, look at their sideboard strategy. 4 Baragorth. That's pretty terrifying. Yeah, I haven't ever seen them play more than 1 Oracle. So Spell Pierce was legit. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a Daze in their hand. So they had the pedal, so they only need 1 land to be able to cast them. So if they put a second land in their pile, then they're safe from Wasteland. So they'll probably do a 2 land pile. They may use fetch lands to, like, it may just be like 3 fetches or 2 fetches and 2 lands. And then they just safely cast Jace. Okay, let's take a look at their, so I'm going to remind everybody that my acronym is BCDFOP. Buffalo Chicken Dip FOP. FOP is an overdressed person. Okay, so let's count the bees, the brainstorms. 1, 2, 3. So they have a brainstorm in hand. They have 2 street wraiths and edges of the bottom. So all their cyclers are in the board. Their petals are exiled. They likely have a Daze in hand. They also likely have a force in hand or in their pile. Okay, and they may not have land. So they may be hoping to like force this through, not realizing that I'm going to use Wasteland as my vector of attack. Lorien Revealed gets a black source. Okay, so I'm going to start by wasting them. And then I'm going to Lorien Revealed to get a black source. And then I can attempt to Witherbloom command. But I do think they have a Daze in their hand. So I could wait a turn. I don't want to pass the turn though. I'm pretty sure they have Daze in their hand. They generally play 3 Dazes. I don't think they can win immediately. I'm going to pass the turn. Oh, I already played the Wasteland, so I can't do it at this turn anyway. Okay. Well, that makes it easy. So next turn, we Witherbloom, and we hope that resolves. That probably won't, but depending on where they put the force in the pile, if it's toward the top, they may I don't know that they would fear Thoughtseize, but if they did, they could put that there. The other thing to note is, okay, black. Okay, they started to do black. There's the delta for the land. Thoughtseize. Okay, this is going to probably hit our Witherbloom command. The other cards are not particularly relevant. If we can get Witherbloom command, we can get the Spell Pierce back. Or I'm sorry, if we... it's a 2-turn line, though. There's no way they don't take the Witherbloom there. Okay. So they still have 4 cards. What are they doing here? Oh my goodness, they can go for it. Surely they can't go for it now. If they just have the second creature, they could go for it now. No, wait, they'll be putting 3 cards top that they could fetch. I don't think they can win this turn. Jace Wielder of Mysteries is a 4 mana play. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Beanstalk here. I think Beanstalk is better than Uro. Uro taps me out completely. Okay, so next turn, I mean, we can still cut, but they're not going to put a creature out. There's no creature to target. We could play Uro and then cut Uro. That'd be like super weird and desperate. I think we're probably dead here because they can fetch. They just need a pedal, but they don't have a pedal. I think they're going to have to draw through these unless they have some sort of accelerant. Oh, if Uro finds a wasteland, it's so good. I'm going to go ahead and play this out, and then I can cut Uro. So I want this trigger still on the stack because I want to find a wasteland. So I'm going to exile 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get the draw trigger. We find Endurance. Okay, and now we draw for Uro. We could potentially Endurance them to buy time here. See what we get. Wasteland. They probably have Daze in their hand, though. Holy guacamole. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Good luck. Unless they play a second thing, I don't think there's a way they can win here. They have it. They are playing a second Oracle. I thought they were going to go Jace route. Oh, wow. Yeah. Missing. Yeah. Good game. That was close. All right. So now we know we can't really take out all our removal. That's the thing is like by playing these cards, they do make it a little harder for us. I think Bowmaster, we change anything. Okay. So let's talk about what's not good. I think we cut some lands. I'm going to cut 2 lands. That's greedy. We're going down to 17 lands. I don't think so. I'll cut 1 land. And then Bowmasters, they're going to be bringing in Bowmasters, most likely. They most likely have 3. Wait, we didn't see Bowmasters. They may not be playing the same build. I think I'm going to take out the Fatal Pushes and bring in Bowmasters. Shieldred's Edict. I mean, like, if they did bring in creatures, they have Tamiyo that could flip. I think I'm going to take out the Shieldred's Edict, and I'm just going to keep 2 of these Fatal Pushes in. Yeah. This hand is a Bowmaster hand. We have Endurance to potentially screw with their pile. We have a Fatal Push. I'm going to keep this. They mold a 6. Play this out. I don't want to get this Daze, so I think I'll Surveil, and then I will Lorien the following turn. Carpet. Thoughtseize. They don't have Daze up. I could Brainstorm and hide something. What would I hide? I'd probably hide the Bowmaster. And the thing is, they're probably going to have to assume the worst, that I'm hiding a Force. Oh, Spell Pierce. So good. So I'm going to hide Spell Pierce and Bowmaster. Next turn, I can waste them. They might go for it. I'm going to hide the Bowmaster first. Then I'll hide this. They can take any of these mediocre cards they want. So what I'll do is I'll draw Pierce and I'll waste. They took the Endurance. Okay. And they are playing how many? They have a single island in their deck that is Refuge from the Wasteland. The land promises nothing and it keeps its promise. I could pierce a Petal, which would be funny. I don't know that it'd be correct. Street Wraith. They are getting lower in life. They know I have a second Wasteland. Okay. And they're being careful, which is good for us. Because it means that I'll just play this out and I'll pass. They could Surveil here. I'm fine with that. I guess if I had played a Wasteland instead, I would be able to prevent them from surveilling. But I may want to Surveil myself rather than subject Bowmasters to potential interaction. Yeah, I should have looked closer at their deck to see whether they were playing any creatures. I don't seem to recall any other than the Street Wraiths. Okay, double lands. Street Wraith again. I'm not going to Bowmasters that. I'm going to be patient. Consider's fine. I'm not going to Bowmaster. You may be wondering, like, why not Bowmaster? It really is good to, like, be able to actually get it through. Let's go Surveil. That is a clock. I don't think we need it. It taps us out completely. It's not a big clock. I'm just going to graveyard it. I'm going to go ahead and go for their land here. They could do this sacrifice, cycle thing. So I have Instep Lorien revealed. I just want to make sure that, like, our Spell Pierce is undazable. I think it's perfectly reasonable to grab the Sanctuary here because we can play the island out, and the next turn, I mean, you could argue I should have just waited. So now I can Bowmaster, and if they interact, I can do something. They're probably playing some number of Fatal Pushes, for example. I will go ahead and interact here. They could double Daze this. Ping. I will Pierce a Fatal Push, but they may Daze it. I think this is pretty important to our game plan here, just doing massive damage to them. We have Fatal Push if they have a Baragoi, if they scoop. All right, and just patient play there. Won the day. We don't know what they had in hand. Now they're probably a little spooked by the Bowmasters to our advantage. I think we don't change anything. They drew a ton of land that game. We wasted twice and they still had 2 lands. And they only play 16 lands. I like this hand. It's got a lot of pressure. It doesn't stop them just sending it. But we do have endurance to screw up their pile. So we're not completely without interaction. They may have to burn a Daze on our Beanstalk. Okay, they're passing. This is great. I'm actually thinking of just floating this Wasteland out there to try to discourage them from surveilling. If they surveil, I will waste them. All right. They're fetching now. They're probably getting the basic island here. No, they're just going to play into it. Crop is fine. Not excited to see it. Bargain. That is a card to pitch to force. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the beans here. The great thing about this bargain is it pitches to endurance or force, depending on the situation. They may Daze here. I don't think I can force. Okay, that's great. All right, so we're going to start sticking Bowmasters every turn, starting next turn. Hopefully they don't just go for the win now. They are going to get an extra mana off that carpet. They surveil. With cut in hand, we're ready for creatures for sure. That is nice. I feel ready pretty much for anything. Like, this is about as ready as our deck gets for Doomsday. Having a Spell Pierce, having some mana on tap would be nice. We will have mana on tap for the rest of the game after this. They're using their Brainstorm before our mark can come down. Sadly, I think we just give them all the mana they need with the carpet. I don't think it's correct to hold back. If I could find a Bayou, I absolutely would. I'd do that instead. But I'm going to presume that we're not going to get lucky enough to find a fetch here. Dark Rit. I think they probably have Daze here. So if we force here, we draw a card. I'm going to do it. They almost certainly have a Daze or something. They'll probably do it before we get the draw. Do they force back? That's fine. So they are going to Doomsday here. We get our trigger. Is it a green card? It's not. Okay. So if they can build a pile that wins immediately, not a lot we can do about that. They are going to have so much mana that they could use Jace Welder of Mysteries, but they don't necessarily know that I'm going to play into the carpet. So they kind of have to respect that. They've been very diligent or at least in game 1, they were diligent about emptying their pile completely. What I'm hoping to see is 3 Dazes in exile, because that'll give me a lot of agency. Because what I'd like to do is ponder, find a green card, then also be able to Bowmaster and just not have to worry about getting my endurance dazed. All right, here's the exile. I see 1 Daze. No, they may have double Daze. Wait, 2 Dazes. Okay, so they probably have a Daze. Unfortunately, that's what I was really worried about. Let's take a look at the Brainstorms. So there's likely a Brainstorm in their pile. No, never mind. No Brainstorms. I think they took all the Cyclers. They may have put Petals in the pile too. Okay, so I see Edge of Autumn here. What I don't see is the Street Wraiths. All right. So they're going ahead and putting a Petal in. Can they just win now? Ponder. Okay. The good news is they're putting a lot of cards in their graveyard that we can potentially put back with Endurance. Okay, let's see if they took a Thoughtseize out. There's one Duress, Thoughtseize. Oh, I do see the Street Wraiths. I see one. And it's so hard. Like, I wish I could just sort this. They don't let you sort it, unfortunately. They're down to their last card in hand. I think there's a very good chance that they have a Daze. Green card, please. Oh, no. Okay, so options. If we just Bowmaster, it may slow them down quite a bit, but it probably won't be enough. They have 3 mana out. I strongly suspect their last card is Daze. I'm going to ponder for a green card. We found a green card. Just going to play this out. I don't think denying the mana is particularly useful. They have tons of mana. I think we need to try to get them to Daze our Bowmaster, and then we can Endurance. They could also put Jace, Wielder of Mysteries in there. So I think this is a window where we could go ahead and go for the Bowmasters, but they could just ignore it. I'm just going to be tough. I'm going to wait. Okay, let's think about this. They're going to mill those top two cards. Even if we put the cards in their deck, they probably have Thassa left in their deck. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Endurance first to put the cards in. They're going to be able to mill 2 cards. And like if they don't force Endurance, that's fine. And then I will Bowmasters afterward. Because Bowmasters can attack this to death. They plus... We'll be pinging them once and attacking for 3. But if Bowmasters gets dazed, if either of these gets dazed, I think we lose. Please pass the turn. Okay. I think that was a huge mistake because now we have 2 shots on goal. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go black, colorless, Bowmasters. And we're going to kill this thing. Okay. He's down. Now we have Endurance and Fatal Push both around. Our top card is something that we don't want. Okay, so if they attempt to play the Oracle, then we can just, like, they have to clear this last card. Wait, are they drawing the last card? No, they've already drawn the last card. So I can Surveil here. I think it's fine to just, we're going to hit them for 4. They have to cast this card. We could have double removal up. Just, I mean, it's not going to matter as long as this resolves. I do want to get something better than this. So one piece of removal should be plenty. Let's go Surveil. We could put Mystic Sanctuary on top, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had. Let's take a look at their exile. They probably have Caverns in the deck. I think it's their next card. Yeah, I'll just dig deeper into my deck. So what are we looking for? Beanstalk doesn't do it. It is a second green source. I don't think that matters. I mean, we could double draw off of the Beanstalk if we played it out. That would require us using our black mana. I'm just going to graveyard it. This is pretty intense. Okay, I definitely want to play land here. So we have emergency. Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. Because we're just going to Endurance. Yeah. They could have like a Daze in hand, but like anything they have, I can just Endurance in response. They don't have a force. I like triple checked. They don't have force. So I think they're going to go Caverns. I'm trying to think of any reason why I wouldn't just cast this out. Yeah, I'm just going to Thoughtseize them. Or I'll Endurance them now. So I can't imagine them being able to dig through all that. Cavern, okay. The way that they're still playing is terrifying to me because I'm like, it fundamentally, okay. Played around Shield. The second Bowmaster was too much, probably would have. Yeah, okay, so I think they're scooping. Yeah, that's fine. They can look at their top 2 cards. I'm not even going to bother Fatal Pushing it. The game is over. They do technically have the Jace still in their deck, but they're dead to combat. Yeah, good games. If they +1 Jace, I still had the ability to do that to them. And Jace would have taken an additional Bowmaster ping and give me an additional thing. So I don't know that they had it if they plussed. All right, we're 3-1, losing only to Karnforge. See you in the final round. All right, and for the final round, we have a rare treat. We're up against James Kisau, creator and like frequent updater of the Grixis control list. So it'll be some control and control action. I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to mulligan against him. I'm going to trust that I'll draw to land. He doesn't generally play any mana disruption. So I can just open with this hedge maze. And once I find a black source, we're going to be doing great because Witherbloom command should be pretty good. I will keep that. That's an above average draw. I'm going to need to find land. I don't know that we're unfavored here because Uro is pretty hard for him to deal with. He does have a lot of Bowmasters, but we have a lot of anti-Bowmaster tech in our hand. The main thing I'm worried about is clock. Let's go ahead and start with a Ponder. If I get a black source, I might play it out. I think this is shuffle. I just want mana. I don't know. Beanstalk is pretty good. I can take the bargain now for the force. Yeah, I think it's worth getting this Beanstalk. It's like 2 turns without. So next turn we Beanstalk. I'm not gonna keep it. I think it's too risky. I want to land. Okay, another Ponder. I'm just gonna play with the Ponder now. All right, another green source. I mean, technically this gives us Uro. It's not the worst. We can just Uro multiple times to get through it. Yeah, hopefully they don't have Bowmasters because we're gonna be Uroing through. But I really wanted that land. Let's put it that way. Playing just 3 color deck problems right here. Cling to Dust. Yeah, I really had to think. And I don't have the luxury of thinking. This is going to be a total knockdown, drag it out match right here. Okay, Ponder. That's good. We're not going to be Witherbloom when we Uro here. But I am going to be... They don't play Daze. They do play Spell Pierce, usually. They've got their basics. Get deeper into my deck here. So next turn, we're drawing live. It could be something good. I think the card that I force is probably Bowmaster because that turns on potential Kaito. If we find Black Source, I'll feel very confident. So they may have Bowmaster up. They can start clinging Uros from our graveyard. Right, let's get a land, please. No? Okay. These are not bad cards against them. It's not great, though. They have Beargoyf and stuff like that in their deck. Okay, so they can just eventually flashback cling. Yeah, this is not really what you want to be drawing against them. The 3 colors. Brainstorm. So we've had 1 cantrip. They've had 3. They're definitely favored here. They have their mana under them. We do not. Cling is really good against Uro. All right, they got 3 mana up. Come on, Black Source. I think I'm just going to go ahead and endurance them because I don't want them clinging stuff. And they'll have cling back next turn. Brainstorm, sure. So we're putting more material back in their deck, which is nice. Because they do have like a Murktide. I'm not sure if they have Murktide, but they definitely have Beargoyf in there. We can look during sideboarding. I don't want to use up any clock right now looking. It's fine. The creature is not the issue. It's just buying time, slowing them down a little bit. And at this point, if they have to cling Uro, it's like they gain 3 life. They actually go down a card. Life isn't important. Cards are important. Tommy, I hope they flip her. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put the Ponder on top. It's better than nothing. I mean, it increases our odds of drawing a land next turn. Now I have Pierce up, which is not great. Bowmasters, I think we just have to let this go. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that I should have taken care of that, but I've got tons of life, and I have lots of answers to it in hand. I just need black mana, and they're not going to disrupt my mana. I would love to Witherbloom both this and their... they have Kaito. Yeah, I can't interact with that. That's unfortunate. They only play 1. Yeah, and just like that, we might lose now. They did take their... Do they have a land drop? Second clue. Okay, they flipped her. Great. So if we can Ponder find an Underground Sea, then we can deal with this. And we can, I'm happy they took that Bowmaster out of the play. All right, this has to do, and I'm not going to wait. Let's go get the... Black Source, and we're just going to start doing stuff to them every single turn here. So I'll play it. Black, green. We'll go ahead and Witherbloom. Spell Pierce up if they force this, which they may. I think I don't have any cards in my graveyard, but like it does accelerate the arrival of Uro. I think it's probably fine. So I'm going to just, I'll bring back Uro. I might find a land. I would love to pierce this so badly. If they force... Okay, didn't happen. I didn't find a land. That sucks. That is aberrationally unlucky. But Uro is upon us next turn. Kaito is going to continue to generate value, unfortunately. I can keep my black mana up and push the Bowmaster that they're probably going to cast when I play Kaito. All right, they've got 8 cards in their grip. 9 cards now. Narset, it's probably got to be a force. Yeah, I can't deal with it. It sucks. They're just going to force back, I bet. Luckily, they don't have the Pyroblast yet, but they will. They don't have Spell Pierce available because of their basic heavy mana base. We stop that. Here comes the Bowmaster. That's fine. I can't deal with that, but I can Witherbloom it. Come on, Black Source. Start with this. Black, green, Witherbloom, cast. I'll mill myself and I will destroy that. Now I can Uro. Unfortunately, Uro is counterable and he's stunnable as well. We can draw, put this in. I now have Fatal Push-Up. They are going to almost certainly stun this, so I have the option of just removing it, but I'm just going to hold my material. So he'll probably, there's the stun. Save 2 life. Oh, we have a lot. I'll feel really dumb if they play a Beargoyf. I think every card is going to matter. I can bring in a replacement Uro, and they won't be able to stun the replacement Uro. If they play like a Beargoyf or something like that, you better believe I'm going to push it. I'll push a Tamiyo. I'll push a lot of things. There's the Beargoyf. Let's go get the Bayou. All right. Wasteland. I'm going to take them off one of their lands. Green, green, blue. I guess I could tap like this just in case I actually do have the mana to play. Pretty even here. They are forcing. Is fine. I am going to go ahead and just endurance them. Wow, they double forced. Okay. I'm not sure what they're planning to do here. They're going to have to do it quickly. I guess they need their graveyard for... Oh, are they going to kill us this turn somehow? They're plussing. So they're going to deal 6 damage here. They may have another bolt and we're just dead. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't expect to die like this. Otherwise, I would have pushed this. Yeah. Good. Okay, cool. So one of the best control players on Earth. Losing to them. Let's take a look at their deck. So cards that I think could come in. I think we need to bring all 4 Bowmasters in. We need the 4 Hydroblasts. I am tempted to take out the Forces completely. Spell Pierce is okay, but they have so many mana, and yeah, I'm not sure about those. Okay, they just trophied yesterday with the list. Strixes, 4 Bowmasters. All this looks pretty standard. Lightning Bolts. So cards that they could bring in from the sideboard. Opposition Agent. The 4 Blue Blasts. Those are the main things we need to think about. We could cut our Forces completely. I think I'm going to cut a Beanstalk. I feel like that's fine in Bowmaster Mirrors. They actually don't have that many creatures that are worth pushing. They have 1 Beargoyf. I'm going to cut some of these. I'm going to cut a Force. I could probably cut a Bargain. Endurance seems like it's actually reasonable. They do not play Merc. Maybe I cut one of these. I'm going to leave in the up the Beanstalk. I think we do need to go over the top here. So we still have lots of creature removal and Shielded Edict. This is Snap Keep. I'm just going to Island Ponder. They don't bring in Blood Moon currently. So I think we're probably fine on mana sources. They mulled a 6. That's good. Man, double bolt last game. That was crazy. We are slightly up on time, amazingly. Okay, this is great. I'm going to take the Force. In case they Thoughtseize, I don't want the Bowmaster to be visible. You know what? I guess I could just take the Bowmaster. I'll take the land now. I'm almost certainly going to want to... Well, yeah, I think I'm just going to jam the Beanstalk next turn. So I do want the Orcish Bowmaster. I'll just skip the Force. I'm just going to Beanstalk repeatedly, and I'll get paid out over the longer game. We're not going to be wasting them. We're just going to be amassing lands and trying to get up into Uro territory or Lorien Revealed territory. This is the Thoughtseize. Yep. So the fact that we have double Beanstalk is great. And that we disciplinedly hid our Bowmasters. Okay, so we will get a Beanstalk off here. They don't have a lot they can do to stop enchantments, I don't think. Get our green. Draw trigger is another Uro. Okay, I'm not going to complain. Because they do have ways of like snatching our Uro out of our graveyard. Okay, ponder. They may be kind of light on mana, but I'm still not going to waste them until I'm confident that that's the case. Like generally these ponders can find what they need. If they shuffle the ponder and they don't play a land, then I will be tempted to waste. Let's think about what's important here. I think getting Uro and just ramping up on mana is important. Doing damage with Bowmaster is not important unless they are mana screwed, in which case we can apply pressure with Bowmaster. Okay, they didn't shuffle. They found the land. Okay, so that discussion's over. We're not going to be wasting them maybe the entire game. Card to draw. I'm just going to go ahead and play this out in case we manage to find. That'd be great. I could have pondered, but then I wouldn't be able to cast this. I have a second one that I can pitch to force. That's a good draw. All right, and next turn we will try to ponder into a land. I'm going to be pitching. I'll probably be pitching the second Uro to force. I think we are the bigger control deck. Like every time we bring an Uro into play or do something like that, we're invalidating one of their bolts. They may board their bolts out, but I do think the longer the game goes, the more we're favored, which is why I'm playing aggressively and thinking very quickly, because I think time is going to be a big deal if we make it to game 3. I'm also not going to freak out if they get a Bowmasters out because I have lots of answers in my deck and I am confident that we'll gain life. I think last game where we got bolted out, I think that's an aberration. I don't expect subsequent games to go like that. Fetching. They went for another non-basic. Reanimating our Uro. That's fine. This is basically just drawing a card and potentially making a land drop. Did they miss on land? If they miss on land, I'm taking them off blue here. Maybe I take them off red. Let's ponder first. I want to get a land drop this turn. There's a land drop and a Lorien revealed and a Merc that we can use later. I mean, I could just start pressuring them. Yeah, I'm going to take them off red. Then we can Bowmaster if they cast a cantrip here to try to dig for more land. I think I'm going to go ahead and apply pressure. They could fatal push this. Surgicling Uro in our upkeep. I think the simplest thing to do is just, we could endurance ourselves. That fizzles their ability. Then we hold the force and everything for later. And we have a body on the table. I think that's fine. Maybe they fight over this. Either way, we're definitely not going to let that resolve with the Uro in our hand. So now I just pitch this Uro. Draw trigger. We draw the Merc. Which sadly, now actually I don't care about it that much, but I'm still going to do it. I want to have Uro in my deck. Go for their graveyard. Instead, let that happen and then beat them down. No, I'm just going to go for my own. The fizzles, they don't get to look at anything. Go to combat. We've got 5 power on the table. I'm feeling pretty good. They did just pay 2 life and a card to accomplish nothing. And they pitched another life and they pitched a Norset. This may be a short game. They did find land. There's the Bowmasters. I'm okay with that. We could just Shield or Edict one of those away. We could just attack in. I think that's fine. Get some force blocks. Maybe they don't block. Maybe they need Jitsu next turn. We're ready for that. We can do a Lorien revealed to find more land if we want to and get another card in our graveyard for Merc. I hope they attack in Kaito. Okay, Shield or Edict. That's fine. So I am going to try to get a good land here. We don't have anything to put back. That goes in the graveyard. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary can get it back. I Shield or Edict first. That way when I cast my Merc, it doesn't, then I'll get a creature for it. Could go ahead and put this, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, I could give it an extra power so it's lethal. Maybe I don't care that much about it being lethal. Yeah, I'll just play this out. I'll put Shield or Edict on top. It's a pretty good card. And then I'll just make it like sub-lethal. We get a card draw off of this. Draw trigger. There's the Shield or Edict in our hand. We've got a 4/4, but it's a flyer. Clinging to draw a card. Brainstorming. They're tapped out. Next turn we're going to Lorien and draw a bunch of cards. Draw 4 cards. They force that. They may have a land drop and a pyro. That would be good. I'm just going to do this first. Okay. I'll just come in for a hug. I should have probably wasted there. I should have wasted the red source. That was actually a really loose play, playing this land out. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Oh, wait. They're just doing this to look at our deck. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. I could have brainstormed technically and got a free shuffle there. You can look at our deck. Wait. How did they get the two? Oh, yeah. They cleaned. That's how they got that life. Yeah, I can't imagine them doing this for any reason other than just looking at our decks. We are down 1 minute. We have 12 minutes for the final game. Even if they pyro, we do have Orcish Bowmasters in a Wasteland. That does grow our dude, which probably doesn't matter. Take one for red. Go ahead and brainstorm here. I should have done this in a different sequence technically. Okay, there's another Merc. So Merc, I think we're good to go now because we have Bowmasters and we have Force for it. And even if they force, we can just kill their creature. All right, 11 minutes. They are going to use the full clock here. Good game. Yeah, that was still pretty scary just because they're such a high skill player, even though that was clearly like they got mana screwed. I still don't think we bring in Carpet. Yeah, I don't really think we make any changes. Yeah, the Beanstalk was consequential for sure. I mean, Bargain may be worth bringing in. It's a pretty good card. Fills up our yard. Just a question of how greedy we want to get with Shaving Forces. The fact that they play so many Pyroblasts does make me less excited about Merc. It did get the job done there, but they have 4 freaking blasts. Or at least I'm getting value for them. See if I shave... actually, I think he's probably better than Bargain, because Bargain... I mean, I can time Bargain around blasts. Yeah, I think I'm going to trim one of these. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So we're going a little lighter on win cons, but we're on the draw. We need to outcard them. We're not the aggressor here. The Bowmasters will be used defensively this game, almost certainly. We just got lucky and we're able to use them offensively. I am a little scared that like maybe he did bring in Magus or something like that. He hasn't had it in there in a long time though. Yeah, I haven't seen Magus in... We're going back like a month now. No Magus. Yeah, I'm going to trust that he doesn't have it in there. This is another hand that doesn't have a green source. I think we keep it. It's got plenty of land. I'm not going to go down. I may just cheese Wasteland here. Try to like cut him off red or black. Definitely hoping to cheese. They did shuffle their library. They're passing very aggressively. Okay, that's a Ponder. I think I just played. I got plenty of land drops to make. I should have played the Wasteland there because I could have heard the Surveil. Oh, they're not going to Surveil. Okay. They're just playing lands. Interesting. Green land, please. Hydroblast, that's good. I'll play this out just to deter them from surveilling. I don't think that they're going to be very useful for anything else. But if I can get like virtual card advantage by them not being able to look at their top deck, the top of their deck. Okay, they stopped at 3 lands. Okay, that's good. They can get all their land if they want to. There we go. So options. We could just go ahead and play into Bowmaster. Fine, I want to get this out. I don't care about Bowmaster. Okay, they're fetching in response. That's fine. Do they have Oppo? Oppo would be pretty damn good. Okay, if they Oppo here, I'm going to be so sad. That is something within their power to do. Nimble Obstructions. Oh, that's not that big a deal. It's annoying, but I'm going to go ahead and just ponder here and try to find another land, I guess. I think we shuffle this. I am really looking for a land now. Okay, we got another ponder. I guess I'll just ponder now. I know I'm going off blast here. Okay, Lorien Revealed will do the trick. I'm going to keep Lorien on top just so they don't thoughts in my grip. We got answers to a lot of things now. A land that I can waste, which is nice. I'm going to be wasting as many lands as I can. This turn I am going to try to Beanstalk one though. Now we don't really have to worry about Oppo. I guess I can just take a turn off from worrying too much. I'll start wasting them later. I want to make sure I have Hydroblast up for, I don't know, something that they could do here. Spell Pierce, Force. That is fine. This is 2 for 1. I'm just going to wait till like the dust is kind of settled and then I'll start wasting them. Like Kolgon's coming. I'm trying to think of things that could go wrong here. The card they pitched to Force was Brazen Borrower. I've got 9 minutes on my clock. I could easily run out of time here. Most likely I'm going to be using Hydro to stop their Pyro on my Bargain. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try this, see what happens. I don't think anything bad can happen from doing that. I'll play this out. And now we have Instep Bargain with Hydroblast. I'm just going to let that happen. I'll be embarrassed if like I don't get to brainstorm, but I feel like most likely I'm going to be able to ramp this through, especially if they do something here. Gosh, what if they do have the freaking thing? Yeah, hopefully they don't have Kaito. They have one Kaito in their deck. Do they have it now? They do have it now. Okay. So I think I bargained here while they're tapped out. We're just looking for Shieldred's Edict for next turn. I think we take the Force. We take the Bowmasters. We take 4 here. Sadly, they are going to be able to hit us. They put Oppo in the graveyard. We don't have to worry about that this game. All right, no land. We are getting lucky with them not finding land. Do we want to do anything in the end step? We could cut. I'm going to be optimistic that we're going to draw like a Beanstalk or something. Okay, Lorien. I'm going to go ahead and Lorien. They're doing Beanstalk. I think I just let that happen. They're paying 2 life. They're going down a card. They get to see our hand. It does give them information about whether they should force anything. I guess I could have used this as an opportunity to Bowmaster. I can get back Bargain. I think that's pretty good. They are going to get another attack in, unfortunately. I can Brainstorm if they do put a Bowmaster on the stack. They can't. Yeah. I like having double Hydroblast up. I will probably force if it comes down to it because I'm really far ahead on cards as long as I can keep my Bowmaster on this table. I'll probably have to pitch the Brainstorm. Reanimating Bowmasters. No, thank you. Well, I am going to have to go ahead and Brainstorm here. Can we find another force? We do not. So that resolves. Unfortunately. They take 2. They ping my Bowmaster down. They get a dude. I'm just going to be mana efficient and cut it here. I don't want to give them any cards. I'm just going to block like that. I should have probably cut now. Yeah, I'm just going to cut now. I'm going to get my Bowmaster out of my yard just in case they have another reanimation effect. I'm going to play land. Green, blue, colorless. Uro. Do you have a Bowmasters? It's fine. It sucks that they have the Bowmasters, but there's not a lot I could have done there. I guess I could have wasted before I did this and then passed it into... Yeah, so I think that I did make a mistake. I don't have the green to bring him back, unfortunately. How much damage am I taking? I'm taking quite a bit. I'm going to cut them off this land. It could bolt me out here. Next turn, I do have Rakshas's Bargain to try to find a green source. I'm trying to think if there was any... No, I don't think there was any situation where I fetched that I could have done differently. So we're taking 8 here. 7. They get to surveil again. Yeah, we're dead on board. This sucks. Yeah, I think this game was mine to win. I'm not sure where it went wrong. Thoughtseize. That is brutal. Now we don't have access to Bargain anymore because I just didn't ever have the green to cast it. So a Bowmaster keeps us in this. I've managed their mana very effectively with these wastelands, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, unless we draw a green source to bring back Uro, that's GG probably. And even then, we might be under lethal pressure. Snap. It's going to just, what are they going to cling? Oh, surgical extraction on our Hydroblast. It's brutal. Yeah, they can do that. I mean, we drew a freaking Hydroblast. That's so disastrous. Okay, games. Yep. I'll let them see it. I'll let them see that I drew yet another Hydroblast. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, and there were like little decisions I noticed along the way. Like, had I sequenced differently, the Bowmaster wouldn't have been so big. Like, had I just wasted before I played it out? Yeah, so I'm still learning. I mean, the deck, there's a lot to be learned, but I am going to continue to try to be excellent. I'm going to continue to grind. I think this kind of pure control approach works nicely. It can kind of get tempoed out by slightly lower to the ground control, like James Kisau's control list. I don't regret having the full 4 Bowmasters in my sideboard. Those were really good. And the Doomsday matchup and the Grixis control matchup, and I think they were good in the first matchup, which was the one that was really quick and oppressive, the blue-black tempo. Yeah, everything felt great. I don't really have any changes I'm going to make at this point. I think I'm just going to keep running it back and trying to get better with it. Here's the full list. You kind of got hid there. I think the mana base is great. I don't I don't love having Bayou in a Mystic Sanctuary deck, but it is nice to have that additional black source, and it did come up several times. We're so light in black. The only card I've been considering is Leovold, but it's another card that gets blasted. We didn't get to play up against our really strong matchups, unfortunately. We didn't play against Reanimator or Oops All spells. I think Endurance makes those very positive matchups. So I'm going to play another league, and hopefully we'll get there with that. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.